So this is just going to be another add-on to the video I just put up this morning about this. Here's what I'm going to say to you about this, because this is all like a long line of excuses that you guys come up with when it comes to the economy, when it comes to Joe Biden's handling of that economy. So here's what I'm going to say to you. Ready? Because here's how the excuses have gone since this man was placed into office. And yes, I said placed. First, it was COVID's fault. It was the pandemic's fault. Then it was supply chain issues. Then it was because of the war in Ukraine. Then it's Putin's fault. It's the war in Russia. It's all Putin's fault, right? Now the next thing's going to be, it's because of the fighting in Israel and Gaza, right? Excuse, 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 excuse. So here's my question to you. Take a look at the state of the country, okay? Interest rates just hit 8%, 23-year high. 50-year high inflation, the worst it's been in decades, okay? Housing market is in fucking shambles, right? The crime element in this country, stores being looted and robbed, riots in the streets, crime at an all-time high, okay? Had any of these issues happened under the predecessor, would you still be suing the same thing? Would your thought process still be the same? Because we all know that it wouldn't. What I hear from you is excuse, excuse, excuse. What I hear from the Biden administration and the horrible press secretary is either one, that's a question for someone else other than me, even though I'm the press secretary and my job is to answer questions. And then two, blame it on something else, because it is never Joe Biden and his administration's fault with you guys. There is always an excuse. And one after the next, after the next. It wouldn't be that this man was placed into office and everything that was working full steam ahead, that he sat there with his little stack of executive orders and completely destroyed everything that was working, right? Yep, wouldn't be that, because that wouldn't fit the narrative, right? That Joe Biden has done an amazing job. So over 70% of the country in the latest polls, I'll even go from your precious CNN and MSN, say that 70% of the country think that our economy and Biden's handling of our economy has been in the wrong direction. The man is losing in every single poll. So the majority of Americans think the way that I do and not the way that you do. But for some reason, I don't know what I'm talking about, right? Because that's literally what you're saying right now. Well, I answered your question. You didn't. You made it an excuse. And that, my dear, is what the Biden administration has done. Blame everything that is going on in this country right now in the absolute shamble of an economy on everyone else but himself. And again, I'm going to ask you this again. If all of these problems that we are seeing in this country today, the border, millions of people being waltzed across, being handed housing, money, cell phones, insurance, Americans aren't getting that. We're paying for it, but they're not getting any of that help. And all of this happened under Donald Trump. Would you still feel the same way? Would you still blame all of these other things other than the person who's actually in charge? I'm a business owner. When things go wrong in my business, I have to take accountability for that because I am the head of the ship, right? So things go wrong, no one else is going to handle it but me because I am the leader of the ship. It is my responsibility. It's called accountability. And this administration has zero. Okay? So that would be my answer to you. Stop with the excuses. Understand that I know the Trump derangement syndrome is, cooking up in that brain. I get it. I understand. Everything is Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump. Because that was another part of the excuse. If things go wrong, it was first, I think that was the first one. We got to always blame Trump first. And then comes the long list of things. You got to wake up. You got to wake up, man. Stop listening to the bullshit, because everyday Americans are feeling this. How many videos have I seen on this app? Just this one, not even all the other ones I've seen. Women sitting in their cars crying, not knowing where the next money is going to be to pay their bills or even get Christmas for their children. Combing Facebook Marketplace ads for free things to be able to come home and wrap for presents for their kids because they cannot afford it. You don't want to see it. All you want to do is make excuses. And that is why our country is in the shambles that it is right now. Okay? I'm someone that's pretty smart with my money. I saw the writing on the wall when he was placed into office. I took everything out of the stock market, put it into, accounts that I was able to, that were going to be safe from him and his spending. Okay. But it doesn't make me not have a heart and feel for the people that are absolutely struggling in this country. And I'm not going to sit back and make excuses about it. I'm going to blame the man in charge and his policies that he has written. Okay? You don't have to agree with that. That's fine. You can hate Donald Trump to your core. Okay, that's fine. But this is what's happening, and this is why everyone's so upset right now. And you see all the propaganda about, yay, Biden on this app right now, because America has woken up. And they see this man for the absolute failure that it is. And they're living through it. They don't have to watch some TikTok video to see it because they're living through it, okay? And they've had enough. They don't like Donald Trump. As a matter of fact, they can't stand Donald Trump. They don't like the things he says. They just hate him. But they're gonna vote for him because they can't deny that their lives were better underneath his term. And it doesn't matter what the talking heads on social media pump into their brains. And no matter how many times they say, oh, well, you're racist or they don't care anymore because they just want their country to be good economically. And we are not good economically. So there's that. So I hope I've covered everything because this is literally the last video I'm going to make about this because it's like spinning heads. You can't talk common sense. They just don't want to see it. Okay? Now I'm going to go to work so I can pay my taxes. So Joe Biden can go give them to every other country but Americans. All right. Good talk.